What's up guys, and welcome back to another video where I'm going to be talking about Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. I said yesterday that I didn't know when I was going to make another video, but apparently I'm going to make one today because I was just reading over the comments of yesterday's video, seeing what people were talking about, and there was a lot of discussion. Some people were saying, no, they're main series games, the conference said so, and then other people coming in saying, no, they're spin-off games, they said so, you know. So I thought I'd jump in again and sort of give my take on it and try and explain to everyone how exactly it's gonna sort of pan out, because we don't know for sure at the moment, but we have some sort of idea. So I'm gonna start us off using this graphic which I noticed on Reddit this morning, so shout out to Reddit. Hopefully I'll remember to link this post in the description below. I always say comment section, that's a good throwback. So here we have this little graphic here where you see we have the generations across the top and then sort of two sections, spin-offs and core games. So spin-offs obviously is like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Pokemon Conquest, and Pokemon Go, which isn't, you know, considered a spin-off. Then in the core games, of course, we start off with Red and Blue, we have Yellow, Ruby Sapphire, it goes all the way up to Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which we have here. Now you can see we have a split in the middle of core games, one being Main Series 1 Traditional and the other being Main Series 2 Casual. Now we don't know if it's going to be a main series, this could be just, you know, two one-off games and they could leave it there and go back. It could just be a way to draw in the Let's Go or draw in the Go crowd, try and get some Switches sold, and then they're going to say, oh, try out the main games, they're better. Or they could be a great success and they might be fairly easy to make as well, because there's only 150 Pokemon, it's an old region, it's sort of like a remake but it's not a remake. So they could decide to do, okay, well let's do Pokemon Let's Go Elekid and Pokemon Let's Go Magby, because that would be cool, just saying. It probably won't be those, but you get the idea. Pichu might be one, who knows. Anyway, they could make it into a series if it does well, but regardless of whether it's a series or not, it is separate from the main series. So the best way to do this, rather than using traditional, I think the best terminology is core. Okay, so we have the main series, which is, you know, all the main series games, where you have an RPG, you get your starter, you battle gyms, similar to that. That whole umbrella includes Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, because they are main series, they follow the main series format. However, and this is not my description, this is the core sort of description from the conference itself, they described the games to be released in 2019 as core main series, okay? So while Pokemon Let's Go are main series games, they are not core games, they are sort of a side note. As I said, we don't know if it will be a series or not, in which case you might, you know, have to put like the Let's Go series as a separate thing. Who knows exactly? But they are different, okay? And to sort of clarify this, Game Freak have confirmed that the 2019 games will not be influenced by Pokemon Go. So while Let's Go obviously have a lot of Pokemon Go influence, the catching, the CP, stuff like that, they have confirmed that the next games won't be influenced. So it's not like they are taking a huge trajectory from Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon to go to Let's Go and they're going to follow that trajectory on. It's more, it's a little offshoot, little spurt coming out the side of the Pokemon tree with a few different things. They might be trying things out to test out in the future, following Pokemon. They might be sort of seeing the limits of the Switch, you know, multiplayer or, you know, dual play locally. They might be testing that out to see how it goes down for future games, but when they come back around to the 2019 games, they're not going to be drawing that much influence. They're going to be, you know, coming from where they were. And, you know, looking at different posts and comments and reading threads, a lot of people online are talking, you know, saying, well, you know, apart from the catching mechanic, Let's Go looks like a traditional game. Okay, there are no wild battles, but a lot of people are actually complimenting that it could be a good thing. You know, wild battles, while useful in Pokemon games, do get a bit annoying when you keep running into more Pokemon and more Pokemon again, and oh, it's another Zubat, I don't want to run, oh, I can't run away, you know, it gets annoying. Whereas in Pokemon Let's Go, the Pokemon will be on the overworld and you have to, you know, purposely run into them to engage in battle, and that battle really is just throwing the Pokeball. So really, unless you accidentally walk into them, you'll one be entering to catch the Pokemon and that'll be it. So if you don't want to catch the Pokemon, you don't run towards it, you don't waste an extra minute or two in the battle. Some people are complimenting that and saying it could be good, and the Pokemon being on the overworld could definitely be a good addition to the main games, I think. But what I would say for the main games is, okay, add some to the overworld, but still allow you to encounter some in the grass anyway. just a random battle, because some people I've seen have pointed out how do rare Pokemon work in this format. Probably the way it works is you see in one of the trailers a Zubat pops up out of the ground, so it's possible that they just, once they've been on screen for maybe like 20-30 seconds, they disappear again, and then another one pops up somewhere else, and it goes like that, and you have to sort of stand around, which is, I guess, I can't say it's less fun than how it is currently, which is just running into a wild battle, running away, another wild battle, running away, another wild battle, running away, standing around. Okay, you're not doing anything, but it's not, you don't have to do anything, if that makes any sense. So it could be good, and we'll have to see how it pans out in the main series. But that's the main change people are highlighting. They're saying, well, that's it. It's just the wild battle system. It's not just the wild battle system, though. Because we see in those wild battles that, okay, we have Clefairy, he's level 11, however he also has a CP rating. Now, CP is not something we've seen in the main series games before. It's from Pokemon Go, it's another of those little things, and I don't think people are highlighting this enough. So CP stands for combat points, and in Pokemon Go it's like a power level, okay? So you can get a low CP Pokemon, or you can get a high one, which means it's stronger than normal. And each Pokemon has their own range. So for example, let's have a look. Bulbasaur's minimum power level is 217, and its maximum is 981. So you have to give it candies and Stardust and whatnot to level it up along that scale. And then when he evolves to Ivysaur, Ivysaur's range is actually 362 to 1552. So as with the main series games where you have your base stats and they go up when you evolve, CP's range goes up when you evolve. And the scale was sort of like your level, where your overall stats increase. But, thinking about it, that is a big change from the main series, because you have health points, attack, defense, speed, special attack, special attack. How does CP link into that? And I don't really, of course we don't know about the games too much at the moment, but I can't see them having attack, defense, speed, special attack, special defense, etc. in the main games, in Let's Go rather. Because how would that work with CP? Okay, you could do it and it could be like a hidden stat, and it could just be the CP that's all you see, but that is a big takeaway from the main series, because in the main series we have EVs, we have IVs. How does that link into CP? I imagine it's not going to be in there at all, and it's going to be a very watered down version. All they talked about for Let's Go is making it simpler, making it cleaner, which means trimming a lot of, it's not fat, because it's interesting and it's nice to find high level IV Pokemon and give the Pokemon your EVs where they are necessary and stuff like that, especially for competitive. Whereas the CP, okay, you catch a Pokemon, it's got a CP range, you level it up enough, it gets max CP, it's the same as every other Pokemon that is maxed. So whether there are hidden stats in the background in Let's Go, we do not know, but it seems like there will be a big sort of simplification of what there is, where everything might be based on CP. Of course, they may still have base stats in the game, and then the CP may just be a function of it. So if Bulbasaur's base stat is health points stat is 40 and his CP is 100%, maybe he ends up with 200 health points. Maybe his CP range is only at half, so maybe it's 150, and if it's right at the bottom he only gets 100. That's the sort of thing I'm talking about here, and I'm guessing leveling up will be moving you along that range, because I think they've confirmed there's no candies or Stardust or anything in Let's Go. They're not bringing that over. And there is the XP, so XP I would imagine would be gained like that, and when your level goes up, your CP goes up with it. So it's going to be a very simplified system, and that's a bad thing. If that was carried across into the main series games, the outrage would be tremendous, because competitive would no longer really exist at all. It would just be a kids game where you got like trading cards, but top trumps, I've got a Bulbasaur, or I've got an Ivysaur, I win, there's nothing extra there to it. There is a certain level of calculation in terms of determining the combat points in Pokemon Go. I'm just looking at the Cerebee's page here and how it's calculated in terms of health points, attack and defense. Those attack and defense are hidden in Pokemon Go, so it might be similarly coded in Let's Go, but the calculation is the combat points is the floor of the base attack plus the IV, so there are individual values in Pokemon Go, so that might be carried across, and then obviously you've got the rest of the calculation. I'm not going to go through it. So there are IVs for those three stats: health points, attack, defense. So whether they add special attack and special defense and speed, who knows, or whether that's just left to a base stat, and then how much they expand on the IVs, because IVs go from 0 to 15. which are half of what they are in the main series games. And then whether EVs get introduced, I don't know. I would imagine though most of this will be hidden, so you will just see the CP and then obviously your health points value. You won't be able to check anything else out. It'll be a very clean UI, very similar to Pokemon Go itself, where you see CP, health points, that's it. Which, okay, it might be in there, but if there's no way to check it in the game, there is no level of, you're not going to be able to breed. I very much doubt breeding will be in the games, because of course, thinking back to Fire Red Leaf Green, the breeder was on the Seville Isles, which, okay, maybe they put the Seville Isles in, but thinking about it, if it's all about catching Pokemon the Pokemon Go way, then maybe breeding isn't in there. Maybe you can find eggs elsewhere. Maybe you can transfer eggs over from Pokemon Go itself, but who knows exactly. But breeding, I would imagine, may not be in the games. IVs may be in there, but you're not going to be able to really breed for them if breeding is not, of course. EVs are a question mark at the moment, so there are a lot of these statistical mechanics that may not be making the journey over to Pokemon Let's Go, and that's a debate to have, because okay, it makes it simpler, but it also takes away a lot of the strategy, I suppose, of designing your Pokemon the right way, giving them the right moves and EVs and stuff like that. So who knows exactly how it pan out. But the main point we're trying to get across here is Pokemon Let's Go games are not the core games. They're not carrying on from Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. They're like an offshoot. They may be main series, they're in the same sort of format. You have gyms, you have RPG, you have a party of Pokemon, etc. But they are not the core games. These will not, straight away reflect back onto Pokemon. Who knows what they're going to make next year. That's not the actual name of the game, it's just what it came up with. But I wouldn't expect it to carry across straight away. Maybe in the future, if it goes down really well, they bring across the catching mechanic. I would like to see the catching mechanic in the main series games, in the core games, but I still want the wild battles, okay? Battle the Pokemon, and then when you go to actually use the Pokeball, offer the option to swing the Joy-Con to throw it, rather than just pressing A. Maybe it gives you a small catch boost, but I don't want it to be focused, around just that, because it's an extra option. It's not hard to implement, just to throw it, cool, but don't make it the main way to do it, because then you're pandering too much. And another thing to talk about, which I won't mention too much, is okay, Let's Go is designed to draw in the Go players to buy a Switch, to buy these games, and then maybe in the future say, oh, try out these other Pokemon games. They're just the same, but they're cooler. That's the idea here, but I don't know how many casual Go players will turn around and say, oh right, I've played Pokemon Go and I really like that game. The game was free, by the way, but I'm now going to turn around and spend $300 and an extra $60 on a Nintendo Switch and a game for it to play a similar thing with a skin on it. I don't know how many Go players will do that. I'm sure most of the existing Pokemon players will buy a game. Okay, some people may be turned off by it and say I'm going to skip, but most hardcore Pokemon fans will buy the game just to enjoy it. But I don't know how many casual Go players will go. Obviously some will, but I don't think it's going to be a huge inundation. So while the games will still be a success, it's a Pokemon game, it's got the Pokemon symbol on it, it's going to be a success. I don't know how much of a success it's going to be in terms of grabbing Go players by the horns and saying, buy our games, rather than playing them for free on a phone. Who knows though, those are just my thoughts, but of course continue the discussion down in the comment section, guys. Are you convinced that Let's Go are not core games? They're not carrying on from Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, they are an offshoot, a spin-off. A spin-off main series is the best way to think about it, really, to sort of, to consider the games. So, of course, continue discussion in the comments, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Am I wrong? Do you have, sort of more doubts about how it's going to pan out? Do you think are you scared for the future of the core games? Do you think it's going to just turn on its head and have everything from Pokemon Go in it? Or are you sort of a bit more mellowed about it? Okay, maybe these games aren't for us, but we're getting our own games next year and we'll go for those. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, guys. As always, I hope you enjoyed watching the video. I'll be seeing you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, my friends.